Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Kobe Hamilton. Today I'm going to show you how to create this awesome 3D map animation in After Effects. Alright, so let's get started. So here I'm in After Effects. I'm going to create a new composition. I'm going to name it as main composition. Then I'll choose the width as 1920 and the height as 1080. The duration is 10 seconds long and the background color I'm going to leave it as black. Alright, so I'm going to import my map into my project. In this case, I'm using the map of Morocco. Alright, so I'll import this map into my project. Then I'm gonna double click. Then new come from selection. Then I'll go into my main composition. Then I'll drag my map composition to my main composition. Alright, in this case, I want to create a solid layer. So I can hit on this empty space, go to new solid, or I can simply go to layer, new solid. I will name it as stroke. Then I'll leave the width and height as it is because it is full HD. The background color I'm gonna leave it as it is. You can choose any background color of your choice, but in this case I'm using 7D0F0F. Alright. I'm gonna turn off the visibility of the solid layer. Then I'm gonna go ahead and grab my pen tool. In this case I wanna travel from Agadir to Rabat. So I'll zoom in a little bit. Let's say 100%. Then I'll hit on the space bar. Then I'll move to Agadir. I'll make a point like this. Then I'll move to Rabat. Then I'll hit and drag so that I can get this curvy look. Alright, let's move back to fit. So this is how it looks like on the solid layer. Alright, perfect. So I'm gonna go to effects and presets. If you can't find it, go to Windows, effects and presets, and it will appear. Alright, so I'll search for stroke. Then I'll go to so here it is. I'll double click on the stroke. Then I'll choose the background color as, let's say, something like this. Then the brush size I'm gonna move to 7. Then the spacing I'll leave it as 100. Then the pen style I'm gonna choose untransparent. So this is how it looks like. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what we are talking about here. Alright, perfect. I'll move back to fit. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna animate my stroke layer. So I'll select my stroke layer. Then I'll hit E on the keyboard. I'll open up the stroke panel. Then I'll move my time indicator to 8 seconds. Then I'll create a keyframe on the end position at 100%. Then I'll move my time indicator to 0 seconds. Then I'll create another keyframe at 0%. So 0. So this is how my stroke is going to travel from Agadir to Rabat. So I'll select both of my keyframes, hit F9 on the keyboard, or I can go to keyframe assistant, easy ease. Then I'll open up the graph editor. I'll put my time indicator in the middle. Then I'll drag this part to 80%. Then I'll drag this part also to 80%. So it will start slowly. Then move quickly, then go back slowly. Perfect. So the next thing is I'll add a drop shadow to my stroke. So I'll select my stroke layer, go to effects and presets, search for drop shadow. Then I'll double click. So for the drop shadow, the shadow color will be black, the opacity 50%, the direction 135, the distance 7. Then the softness I'll choose 3. Alright, so I'm gonna zoom in so you see what we are dealing with here. So you can see there are some shadows under the stroke. Alright, perfect. Then my next move is I'm gonna create a new camera. So I'll go to layer, new camera, then I'll hit OK. Then I'll also create a new null object. So I'll go to layer, new null object. Alright, so I will parent my camera to my null object like this. Perfect. Then I'll open up my null object. First of all, I have to turn everything to 3D. So here we go. Then I'll create a keyframe on the position, scale, X rotation, Y rotation, Z rotation. Okay, perfect. Then with my time indicator at 0 seconds, I will give the Y rotation like 15. Then the X rotation like 25. You can play around with the keyframes. Then the scale I'll go for 33. Then the Z rotation -6. In the position I'll go 8, 3, 6, 7, 1, 1. Then 230. Alright, so it'll start from Agadir. Then I'll move like 2 seconds long. Then I'll change the position to 880, 570, 570, then 230. Then with the scale I'll go for 42. Then the Y rotation will be 16. No, the X rotation rather, 16. Y rotation 15. Then the Z I'll leave it at -6. So that's how it's gonna travel. Then I'll move to 4 seconds long. Then with the position I'll go for 914, 915 or 914, everything is okay. Then 460. Then 230. Alright, then the scale I'll go for 49. Then the X rotation 9, Y rotation 8. Then the Z I'll keep it at -6. So that's how it's gonna travel from Agadir to Rubber. Then I'll go to 8 seconds long with a Z rotation -6. Then the Y rotation also -6. Then the X rotation I'll go for like 65. Then the scale 36. Then with the position I'll go to like 10, 12. Then -260, something like this. Perfect. So in all this, how it's gonna travel. Let me change my resolution so you can see it perfectly. So something like this. Now I'll select all of my keyframes, hit F9 on the keyboard, or go to Easy Ease, keyframe assistance, Easy Ease. Then I'll open up my graph editor. Then I'll put my time indicator into the middle like this. Then I'll select this part, drag it like this. Then I'll also select this part. Then I'll drag it like this. Then I'll put my time indicator here as well. Then I'll select this part. Then I'll drag it like this. Then I'll select this part, drag it like that. Then I'll select my keyframes here, drag this part like this. Then I'll select my keyframes here. Drag it like that. I think it's okay. So this is how my map will travel. Let's put it in auto resolution so you can see it clearly. Perfect. Next, I'm going to create a new solid layer. So I'll go to Layer, New, Solid. Alright, then I'll hit OK. I'll go ahead and grab my ellipse tool. Then I'll hold Shift and Control or Shift Command at the same time. Then I'll create a perfect circle like this. Then I'll move my time indicator at 9 seconds long. Then I'll select my solid layer, hit S. Then I'll create a keyframe at 100%. Then I'll move to 8 seconds long. Then I'll create another keyframe at 0%. So it will scale up like this. Alright, perfect. Then the next thing is I'm going to select my solid layer. I'm going to select my solid layer, hit M on the keyboard. Then I'll select my max 1. Then I'll duplicate my max 1, Command or Control D. Then with a max 2, I'll choose subtract. Alright, then I'll open up my max 2. Then I'll put my time indicator at 9 seconds long. Then I'll create a keyframe with a max expansion. So at 9 seconds long, it will be minus negative 18. Then at 8 seconds long, it will be negative 35. So this is how it's going to expand. Alright, perfect. Then I'll select my some layer again. Then I'll hit T on the keyboard. Then I'll put my time indicator into the middle. Then I'll create a keyframe on the opacity. Then I'll move to 9 seconds long. Then I'll create a keyframe at 0. The first one was at 100. So this is how it's going to look like. Alright. Next, I'll put my time indicator at 8:15. Then I'll turn it into 3D. It will disappear, so I'll have to go find it. So I'll zoom out. Then I'll open up the position panel. I'll hold the solid layer, then press P on the keyboard. So in this case, I'll drag this part like this. Then I'll move it up a little bit. So I'll go back to fit. Then there it is. So I'll zoom out again. Then I'll bring the X, Y axis here. Then I'll move back to fit. So with the X, Y axis, I'll create a keyframe at the position. I'll move back to 9 seconds. Then I'll readjust the position. Perfect. Alright, so the next thing is I'm gonna import my map logo, which I edited in Adobe After Effects. I'll import it into my project. Then I'll hold the location layer. Then I'll press S on the keyboard. Then I'll scale it down to, let's say, 7. Then I'll turn it into 3D. It will disappear, so I have to go find it. So I'll scale out. Then I'll also press the map, the location logo. Then I'll press Shift P to bring up the position. So I will adjust the position like this. Then I'll move it up into my project. Then I'll move back to fit. Then I'll change the X rotation to, let's say, 75. Then I'll move it up a little bit. Then I'll scale it down again to, let's say, 1% or 2. Then I'll adjust the position. I think it's perfect now. Let me move it up a little bit so it can align. Okay. Okay. I think it's okay now. So I'll select the map location, then hit T on the keyboard or Shift T. Then with opacity, I'll go to 10 seconds or 9:15. Then I'll create a keyframe at 100. Then I'll come back to 8. Then I'll create a keyframe at 0. Perfect. So that's it, guys. See you in the next video.